Welcome to the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector. Coming up, government donates $8,000 to the first Lubia reunion. Dominica observes Caricom Day, and we'll bring you scenes of Michael Henderson's Caricom performance in Antigua. Stay tuned for details of these and other stories after this.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is two courts in one? The CCJ has two functions: an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between CARICOM countries freely and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All CARICOM member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
Thank you for staying with us. On July 4th, 1973, the Treaty of Chaguaramas was signed establishing CARICOM, the Caribbean Community. This year on July 4th, this community celebrated 41 years as an organized body. In Dominica, a panel of local resource persons had a televised discussion on the progress of CARICOM over the past 4 decades. Among the panelists were CARICOM Youth Ambassador Natasha Gervier and Director of Trade Mathan Walter. Both agree that CARICOM has come a long way.
The treaty has 5 different regimes, new. We speak to the right of establishment, for example. So you have a situation now in CARICOM where any citizen of CARICOM can come to Dominica. Dominicans can leave and go to St. Lucia, and they can be able to establish their businesses. In relation to the movement of people, not just for work-related purposes, but also for vacation, for travel. A lot is being done to alleviate the hassle of travel throughout the region. But persons need to know their rights. And as long as they are well educated and acquainted with what their rights are, most especially where traveling is concerned, they should be able to have a rather comfortable movement across the region. In the movement of goods, we have come a long way. There are opportunities that can be created if we embrace the provisions of the treaty well enough to be able to use the economic space to become wealthy, to become prosperous.
Dominica's CARICOM Youth Ambassador Natasha Gervier says in several ways the body has come much farther than a concept in a textbook.
When it comes to education, the Caribbean CARICOM has gone through leaps and bounds. Right now, CXC is going even further than they used to be. CXC just used to be that 5th form exam. And because of the whole concept of CXC and all of the qualifications and exams and so on that they are providing, they are catering to, we are seeing individuals who are excellent in their fields. So when we know that somebody comes from any of the islands of CARICOM and they go out there on an international level, whether to work or to practice or whatever it is, we know that we're sending out quality goods, quality human resources, quality services. Our products are always one of the things that we boast about. It's always a pleasure to travel and to see any item from any of the other islands. So when you go to either of the islands and you see an item from Dominica, you feel that sense of ownership and pride. When you go to one of the bigger islands or the bigger countries, or you go on the international level and you see a good coming from any of the countries that represent CARICOM, it also creates that sense of not just national pride, but regional pride, knowing that we as member states have come together to be able to compete on that level or on that market.
A series of activities have been planned by the government of Dominica in observance of CARICOM Day, aimed at promoting CARICOM and the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, the CSME. In addition to radio and television panel discussions, members of the public can look out for newspaper and social media articles. Panelists will come from the Regional Integration Task Force set up by the government with the support of the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors. In other news, 10 students graduated from a 6-month backyard gardening enhancement project last week. The project was designed to combat micronutrient deficiencies in the Southeast. This project was launched on World Food Day last year and implemented after a survey of 2010 revealed the prevalence of anemia in the Southeast. Nutritionist in the Ministry of Health, Marinese Tit, says the Ministry of Health has recognized the need for a comprehensive intervention plan.
It was time for action, and so the health team, together with the nutritionists, designed an intervention plan which included screening, nutrition education, food safety sessions, meal planning, and backyard gardening, all in an effort to reduce the prevalence of anemia and improve the dietary options of iron-rich foods. Through a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry,
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Harold Geist, expressed that the backyard gardening project shows that there is a need for basic food production methods to be taught.
There's another fundamental responsibility that we have to provide basic food for our people in this country. And this was demonstrated very nicely here today when we see people, real people, getting involved with actual food production.
In his address, FAO Country Representative Winston Magloire noted that the project creates vital links between agriculture, nutrition, and health.
Good nutrition depends on healthy diets. Healthy diets in turn require healthy food systems, along with education, health, and sanitation. And healthy systems are made possible by appropriate policies, incentives, and governance. I think what is most critical about this small project is that it has established an important linkage between agriculture, nutrition, and health.
The students were exposed to various farming concepts, including observing, making recommendations, and implementing their findings. A holistic approach was taken. Students received the chance to go on a field trip to the Chinese Agricultural Mission in Portsmouth. Participants were awarded with certificates, and special awards were also given to contributors of the project. Participant Rachel John Baptist urged her fellow graduates to remember what they learned.
To my fellow participants, thanks for making it possible. We are graduating today. Let us put what we learned into practice.
Plans are moving swiftly along for the first Lubia reunion scheduled to kick off on July 24th. On Thursday, Honorable Ambrose George, parliamentary representative for that area, made a significant contribution towards the event.
It is with a sense of satisfaction that I am here this afternoon to make this presentation to the Lubia Reunion Committee from the government, or on behalf of the government. In fact, this is the second presentation that the government will be making to the Reunion Committee. The Prime Minister, very early on at a function here at this resource center, did pledge $15,000 to the committee, which they have already received. And he did indicate that he will make another contribution. And on approaching him on behalf of the Lubia Reunion Committee, he has again approved another sum of money in the tune of, well, it is in fact exactly $8,000, which will go towards the Reunion Committee.
During the brief ceremony at the Lubia Resource Center, Honorable George acknowledged that reunions have grown to events of great importance to Dominicans both here and abroad. This is why he says he pledges his full involvement in the initial staging of Lubia Reunion 2014.
The fact that we're doing it in Lubia, in the Rosa South constituency, not only did it arouse my interest, but I have been playing a very positive role in terms of ensuring and keeping in tune with the planning and the activities which are ongoing in preparation for the reunion, which takes place from July 24th to August 4th.
National Petroleum Marketing Company Limited also got on board with a $3,000 sponsorship.
About a year ago, we met with 2 members of the reunion committee, and we promised that we would help, if we would make a financial contribution. So today I am quite happy on behalf of the board of directors and the staff of the Dominica National Petroleum Company.
Plans for the Lubia reunion have been in the making for about 18 months. This is according to chairperson of the committee, Ronald Charles. He says the team welcomes additional partners, especially corporate citizens in the Lubia area.
We did not know where a cent was coming. In fact, we began without a budget, and we are still looking for money. We are still looking for resources to have a successful reunion.
On Thursday, July 24th, reunion activities will begin with an ecumenical service on the Lubia playing field from 5 p.m. The extensive calendar of activities ranges from a Miss Lubia pageant to a cross-country hike to a development forum to a flea market. Events have been selected to cater for every taste and will end on Monday, August 4th with a family picnic from 12 noon. Over the past 20 years, the center where adolescents learn to love and serve calls has influenced by its Catholic heritage a positive transformative program for the at-risk adolescent population in the North. Their annual graduation ceremony on Thursday was a means of celebrating students' academic as well as spiritual, physical, and emotional accomplishments. Father Herman Sharpless, who blessed the ceremony, noted that calls plays an important role in the lives of those individuals.
What calls is actually doing is to pull those in society that are dropouts from secondary school, those that often even parents give up on. I mean, the last time I was here for graduation and I heard the testimony of a young man, it brought tears to my eyes. And these are the people in society we need to capture. If we lose them, we are going to have a problem in society, as we already begin to see.
The center facilitates the development of youth into responsible, well-rounded individuals, empowering them to lead successful lives through the acquisition of new skills, good work ethic, and an aptitude for entrepreneurship and service. With a well-qualified teaching and administrative staff, financial support from government as well as private sources, CALLS offers a diversified training and education program for youth aged 14 to 22. Recipient of the Spirit of CALLS Award, Samuel Leblanc, gave a heartfelt testimony of his achievement through CALLS.
In September of 2011, that is where my journey began. That is where I first took a decision that will forever change my life. A decision to stay as I were or become something of value, become something that society thought that I would have never become. Because certain people in society regard CALLS trainees as failure. They look at you and they judge you, say that you dropped out of high school, that you can no longer become something, that you are forever branded, and some people even like to use the word retarded. I would like to congratulate all my trainees, my fellow trainees that are here with me today. I would like to say we made it for 2 years. There have been a lot of obstacles, there have been a lot of criticisms, but we still made it. We've proven to them that we can become something, and we did become something. We did achieve something.
This year, the students created their own theme, Character and Efficiency, or Heritage, or Future, or Bond. The Honorable Minister for Tourism and Legal Affairs and Parliamentary Representative for Portsmouth constituency left some sound advice for the graduates.
In life, unlike in school the lesson comes before the test. Isn't that right? Your teacher will teach you the lesson and then you will get the test. So then after the test, you will understand and you will learn what the lesson was trying to teach you. Life is different. In life, the test comes first and then you learn the lesson from the test. And I believe in your short lives, you have gone through so many tests that you have a plethora of lessons that you can learn from. Choose from the best of them, and I believe it will stand you in good stead. Like I said, the world is your canvas. Go out and paint on it whatever you will.
In other news, on Tuesday, history was created for the Caribbean community with the debut of the Caricom song titled Celebrating Caricom by talented songwriter, vocalist, and flutist Dominican Michael Henderson Del Sol. The occasion was the opening ceremony of the 35th meeting of the Caribbean Community Conference of Heads of Government. The performance was supported by dancers from the National Dance Theatre of Antigua and Barbuda, while Miss Henderson's vocals were accompanied by a high-quality regionally produced soundtrack that was prepared specifically for the event. GIS News now brings you a clip of that performance.
The future not firmly in our hands. Raise your voices high and sing of your courage, your pride. Sing it loud and strong. Feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate in song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound of victory drum for Caricom. Hele hele bravo, opolos in Caricom. Hele hele bravo, nakil from Caricom. Sabo yes habu habu, opolos in Caricom. Raise your voices high, sing of your courage, your pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate this song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound of victory drum for Caricom.
That presentation was made possible through the kind contribution of the Antigua Broadcasting Station. GIS News took the opportunity to discuss the performance with Michael soon after her return to Dominica.
To be honest, I was nervous. It's not very often that I'm nervous. But I was nervous because this is a different crowd. This is not the regular audience that I usually perform to, and so I was a bit nervous. But then once I started to present the song, I settled down and felt a lot more comfortable, and from their response I think I did well enough.
In response to the delegates' reception of the song, this is what Michael had to say.
They were thrilled. They were very excited. They were trying hard to sit still in their seats, but after the performance they came up to me and congratulated me, and they were very proud and very thankful that the Caribbean actually had a song that we could all rally around and call it an official anthem. And they made mention of the fact that it was very Caribbean and not the regular anthem where you stand still and and not as stately as that, but very representative of what Caribbean people are like, you know. So I appreciated that. I was very honored by heads of state and heads of delegations who were there and who felt that it was just and that the winning entry was well chosen. So for me, that's a great honor.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à ces nouvelles en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Louis. Premièrement, Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, tient une consultation nationale qui concerne une stratégie pour couvrir santé universelle. Ça, c'est toute catégorie de monde supposé taper opportunité pour traitement bon standard de santé. Plusieurs officiers attendaient consultation là qui tiennent à l'hôpital Princess Margaret. Présentation vidéo qui concerne santé mondiale, hors direct par Dr. Carissa Etienne Moutoué, pendant détail stratégie là présentée par officier par en Dominique, Shirley Augustin. Ministre Santé Honorable Julius Timothy délivré une adresse 46 pour gouvernement pour consultation là. Ministre Timothy aussi parlé contre mise gouvernement qui concerne bon standard santé pour population là. Quand même officier par en Dominique Shirley Augustin fait parole couvrage là, c'est pour tout le monde.
Ça nous fait c'est demander tout le monde nous quoi ni question pour dire contre santé en Dominique pour venir ensemble pour nous parler contre couvrage pour santé pour tout le monde. C'est quelque chose qui paro ni qu'a fait actuellement paro avec mondial santé qu'a fait actuellement qu'a passé tout pays la terre avec amade tout gouvernement pour yo mettre un mécanisme en place pour faire certain les peuple là tomber malade. Yo pas ni pour regarder pour tout partout pour l'argent. Donc a dit même si ou riche et ben ou pauvre ou blanc ou noir qui moun ouye tout le monde supposé trouver même tout le monde même droit là et ben supposé trouver même service là yo malade.
Augustine aussi mentionné d'autres aspects bon santé.
Santé c'est pas mini santé seulement. Parce que c'est un monde pas ka chiller. Il y a d'autres bagailles qui ka fait nous malades. Et ben Dominicien au total dit nous aimer parler contre stress qu'a fait nous si stress qu'a fait nous malades. Il y a toute qualité bagaille qui qu'a fait nous malades. Si ou pas ni $1 pour bas enfants manger ou pas bien. Si ou pas ni en place pour boiter ou pas ni travail pour faire pour ça occuper corps avec famille ou pas ni bonne santé. Il y a tout différents bagailles qui empêcher ni bonne santé. C'est pas seulement là où malade avec tout corps qui fait ou mal. Mais là où la kakachile ça ou kay fait, comment ou kay fait, ça c'est une maladie aussi.
En autre nouvelle, Dominique Bonchen et puis plaisir d'autres pays pour anniversaire Caricom jeudi. Si l'on officier comité qui organise activité mafia libre, organisation là ni kawatignon l'année depuis établi.
Aujourd'hui c'est 4 juillet 2014. Ça fait 41 l'année depuis un agrément entre pays Caraïbes établi. Ça y est Caricom, c'est une organisation pour intégration régionale en tous ces pays Caraïbes là. Ça prend Suriname, Belize, la Guyane, Jamaïque, Barbade, Trinidad, avec tous ces petits pays là, sorti Saint-Kitts descendent pour arriver jusqu'à la Grenade. Ça a été signé en Trinidad, en Chaguaramas, 4 juillet 1973. Ça a fait 41 l'année depuis nous avons célébré l'établissement en communauté caribéenne, ça nous créé Caricom.
Madame Natasha Gervier, c'est ambassadeur Dominique pour la jeunesse Caricom.
Aujourd'hui, c'est journée Caricom. So, ça nous fait, nous, c'est youth ambassador from ces différents pays à Caricom. Nous assistons ensemble et puis nous mettons un message ensemble pour Caricom. Nous avons créé toute bagage, entire bagage, c'est I am Caricom. Et puis, quand nous qui manière où c'est Caricom, moi c'est Caricom, ça Caricom café banou, ça fait banou, et puis côté ça mène nous. Là nous parler about Caricom, nous regarder comme bagay comme monde qui travaille ou qui besoin travailler dans l'autre pays, et puis il regarder CSMI, c'est bagay qui a ouvert la porte pour tout le monde. Si vous voulez faire un job et puis vous passez à faire Dominique ou ça aller n'importe pays, ou pas ni c'est permis avec tout ces trois cas ni pour commencer à travailler dans l'autre pays. Si vous voulez aller from your pays pour next ou pour l'autre, sorry, il can tirer ces difficultés à nous cani just travel can sortir from your pays pour l'autre.
En autre nouvelle, le gouvernement Dominique continue à assister parents ND et puis éducation aux enfants ailleurs. Parole celle-là sortie du ministère de l'Éducation, honorable Peter Saint-Jean.
Depuis 1205, le gouvernement mettait différents programmes en place. Là, nous avons assisté les enfants qui sortent en famille qui pas GP. Et nous, nous avons créé School Transfer Grant. Aussi, nous avons payé $500 pour ces enfants-là qui ne sont pas payés. Nous avons aussi un transportation system, nous avons un textbook system. Et aussi, nous avons un système qui nous a aidé les parents pour acheter uniformes et souliers par les enfants. L'année là, ministre éducation et gouvernement Dominique, parents, c'est assurance là qui nous continuer à travailler avec ces familles qui ne sont pas payées et nous faire assistance là possible.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non moins, c'est McPherson Luce. Ni un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Coming up next, a tip for your eyes this summer.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is 2 courts in 1? The CCJ has 2 functions, an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between Caricom countries freely and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the Caricom Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All Caricom member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
You asked for it. See more evidence of development right here on the Government Information.
For most of us, the eyes are the most cherished of our senses, yet we potentially expose them to danger every day simply by going outside. Over time, the sun's rays can seriously damage the eyes and surrounding skin, sometimes leading to vision loss and conditions from cataracts and macular degeneration to eye and eyelid cancers. However, simply wearing sunglasses when outside will help keep our eyes and the sensitive skin around them safe from the sun. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Friend us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, thanks for watching and have a safe weekend.